What just happened between Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards has left fans stunned. Housewives bloggers scrambling and Beverly Hills insiders whispering louder than ever. After months, no, years of carefully controlled comments, separated living arrangements, and public denials, one moment finally broke through the facade. A moment that didn't happen at a red carpet, not at a reunion taping, not on a paparazzi-filled sidewalk, but during the quiet, unglamorous reality of day-to-day life, where even the strongest Bravo marriages eventually show their truth. And today, we're breaking down exactly what pushed Mauricio to his emotional limit, why Kyle is privately devastated, and what insiders say is happening behind the scenes as this once unshakable RHOBH couple faces a turning point unlike any before. Heartline: emotional meaning behind the story. For nearly 3 decades, Mauricio and Kyle represented something incredibly rare in Bravo lore. A marriage that survived limos, labels, lawsuits, fame, fortune, and reunions. Fans believed in them because the couple believed in themselves. Kyle called Mauricio her safe place. Mauricio once said Kyle was the glue that holds everything together. Their home wasn't just a mansion, it felt like the emotional center of RHOBH. So when tiny fractures started showing, viewers didn't want to believe it. The missed date nights, the tense confessionals, the too long pauses when asked about marriage, the separate vacations. And now, a moment, small on the surface, massive underneath, has shifted the narrative entirely. This is not about scandal. This is not about headlines. This is about two people realizing the life they built together is bending under the pressure of who they've become. Description: verified timeline and full breakdown. 1. The shift began quietly. In early 2023, viewers noticed something different. Kyle, always emotional, always expressive, appeared guarded. Mauricio, usually relaxed and playful, seemed fatigued, detached, almost dimmed. Their confessionals didn't overlap, their schedules rarely aligned. But the real pivot didn't come on camera. 2. The first big break: we need space. Multiple insiders later confirmed that the day cameras wrapped on a mid-season RHOBH shoot, Kyle and Mauricio had a surprisingly raw disagreement about scheduling and boundaries. Kyle's life was overflowing: filming, exercising, friendships, emotional arcs. Mauricio was juggling the agency expansion, international listings, and a grueling travel pattern. A source described it bluntly: they weren't fighting, they were missing each other, and at some point, the silence becomes louder than the arguments. That silence carried forward. 3. The trigger: a private family event. Everything stayed mostly manageable until a recent family gathering that insiders now call the emotional tipping point. According to someone close to the situation, there was a moment when Mauricio arrived noticeably late due to a business commitment he couldn't move. Kyle had been emotional earlier that day, overwhelmed, missing the unity they used to have, and his late arrival hit differently than usual. Again, this was not a screaming match, not a Housewives-style explosion. It was a quiet unraveling, the kind that hurts more because it feels so final. Kyle reportedly said something along the lines of, "You're here, but you're not really here." And Mauricio, exhausted, whispered back, "I don't know how to fix that anymore." That single sentence, soft, tired, and honest, has now become the center of this unfolding story. 4. The off-camera realization. Later that night, Mauricio confided in someone he trusted, explaining that he felt like he was constantly catching up to a version of himself he no longer recognized. He reportedly said he felt overwhelmed by constant public scrutiny, expectations to maintain a perfect marriage image, the pressure of expanding his company, the emotional weight of Kyle's shifting identity and friendships, feeling like a visitor in his own home. An insider summed it up painfully: when you're always smiling for cameras, eventually your face gets tired. For Mauricio,
Perspective.
this was that moment.
What this means for the couple, fans, and RHOBH. 1. For Kyle Richards. Kyle, who is fiercely loyal and deeply emotional, is said to be devastated, not because of drama, but because she finally realizes how long Mauricio has been quietly struggling. Kyle's entire RHOBH identity has been built around family, loyalty, stability, protecting her marriage, and now the one part she thought she could always rely on feels fragile. Her fear isn't divorce, it's losing the emotional home they built together. 2. For Mauricio Umansky. Mauricio isn't angry. He isn't blaming anyone. He isn't stepping away with resentment. He is tired. Tired of being the calm rock for everyone else. Tired of carrying the image of the supportive Bravo husband 24/7. Tired of pretending to be fine while slowly eroding inside. This latest moment of honesty, "I don't know how to fix that anymore," wasn't meant to hurt Kyle. It was him finally admitting he needed help too. 3. For fans. Bravo watchers are emotional because this isn't a cheating scandal. It isn't a reunion fight. It isn't a tabloid setup. It's something painfully human. Two people drifting because life kept pulling them in different directions. Fans feel protective of both of them. Team Kyle, Team Mo. But most viewers are simply Team Make It Work. 4. For RHOBH and Bravo. Executives know this storyline is both emotional gold for ratings and delicate enough to handle with care. Unlike other Bravo divorces, Kyle and Mauricio have decades of goodwill behind them. This arc won't be played for cheap drama. It will be treated as a long marriage facing long marriage problems. And yet, the tension, the tears, the vulnerability, it's the kind of reality TV that changes a franchise. Closing insight. Reflective final sentence. In a world built on diamonds, confessionals, and dramatic entrances, the quietest words can break the loudest hearts. And for Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky, it may be the gentle honesty, not the glamorous chaos, that determines whether their love story ends or evolves into something
Kyle
new.
and Mauricio operated as a perfectly synchronized parenting team. Birthdays, graduations, family trips, every milestone felt like a celebration of the life they built from scratch. Even during the hardest filming seasons, their girls grounded them. But now, with the children older, busier, and carving out independent identities, Kyle and Mauricio are experiencing something many longtime couples quietly face: the emotional aftershock of an emptying home. Kids often act as the glue, the schedule, the rhythm, the reason to realign even when the marriage feels out of sync. Without that constant structure, one insider explained, they're finally hearing the quiet, and it's louder than the chaos ever was. Kyle, incredibly sensitive and deeply connected to her girls, has been feeling the shifts more intensely. Friends say she's been more reflective than ever, questioning her routines, her friendships, her purpose, and even her identity outside the role of mom. Mauricio, meanwhile, is still in motion. Meetings, flights, new offices, new responsibilities. And that imbalance, though unintentional, has created an emotional seesaw. But here's where things get hopeful. Despite the tension, despite the exhaustion, despite the confessions and the space between them, neither one is giving up. Not quietly, not publicly, not privately. Because no matter how shaky the foundation feels, Kyle and Mauricio share something most Bravo couples never had: a real friendship beneath the marriage.